by the title, we're gonna be talking about myths about plus size women. So I've been so excited to do this video just because it's like everybody has their perception about plus size girls. So like I was talking to a friend and they perception was just so off the rocker. I'm like, oh, I gotta do a video about this. Like seriously. But I'm just gonna talk to y'all while I'm doing my brows, because I am about to go. I'm gonna be leaving in a minute, leaving out. But yeah, okay, so let's just hop right into it. The first myth, the one that cracks me up the most, is that plus size girls can't pull nobody. They don't get no play when they go out. Like, that is the funniest one to me. Like, people kill me. You guys seem to forget that there is a such thing as personal preference. So if you going out and you get chose, I'm assuming you're being chosen by a man or a woman who wants to talk to you, whether you're a plus size girl or a plus size guy. And along with that, it's always, oh, he must have talked to her because of certain reasons, or you know, it's a motive behind him pulling her, or you know, her pulling him. Or like, why would a guy that look like this want to talk to him, or why would a girl that look like this want to talk to him? Like, people, this is 2019. Are we still doing that? Like, are we? That's the funniest one to me. Like, is that plus size people don't get chose. Like, sweetie, there's somebody out here for everybody, trust me. And y'all, I'm just like really winging it with these brows because I don't have any of my like normal stuff I use to do my brows, so I'm just winging it, like I said. But yeah, so that's the first myth. My thing with that is, I feel like you basically get approached by people who want to talk to you. And if you do get approached by somebody who's fraudulent, that doesn't want to talk to you for you, it's gonna come out, because what's done in the dark comes to light. Okay, and people who have motive, they never make it far. So if you is out here approaching somebody because you have like a certain motive, or you only talking to a plus size girl because you heard like, oh, they do this or they do that, that's crazy on your behalf. Like, that's ridiculous. The second myth that cracks me up as well is that every plus size girl is a sugar mama. That's funny. Like, that's so funny to me. It's funny because I like getting money spent on me. I like spending money too, like, you know, for my significant other. But I like getting money spent on me. I'm sorry, that's just me. And I know a lot of plus size women who are not sugar mamas, who get spoiled, and who get well taken care of by the men in their life, and they, you know, reciprocate. So that one is another one that kind of throws me for a loop, because what makes, who came up with that? That's crazy. Like, literally, who came up with that? I feel like some of these myths are made by people who don't have nothing else better to do, or basically they just downright assumptions. And you all know what happened when we start assuming stuff, right? Right. So yeah, that's another one that cracks me up. The next myth is one that I've heard a lot. I even heard it a lot in like stand-up comedy. Like, you know how you go to the little comedy shows and somebody always has to go and be vulgar and talk nasty. the next myth that I've heard is that plus size women can't perform right in the bed doing certain things. And that's another thing that's crazy to me, because I kind of feel like, once again, it all boils down to the person. Like, it boils down to the person who's doing it and the person that they with. Like, just because they a bigger size, like, what does that have to do with anything? You know what I'm saying? Or I've heard, like, oh, plus size girls only give fellatio good, but they can't do other stuff. Like, y'all are reaching. Why does somebody else, you know, life in the bedroom, why does that concern the next person? I have no clue, but yeah, I've heard that one a lot. Something else I done heard. Oh my god, I heard that all plus size, I'm sorry, all skinny girls have a plus size friend that they secretly, basically, like, all skinny girls have a plus size friend that they only have there so to make them look better or to make them feel better about how they look. I heard that one before, and I think that's complete BS as well. Like, who be coming up with this stuff? Y'all is funny. Like, literally, does it matter? Like, come on. But the funny thing about it is that when people come up with these myths, because you know they just don't come up with myths about plus size people. They come up with myths about women. They come up with myths about men, black men, white men. So it's not just myths out here about plus size women. It's myths out here just in general with people, because people love to take and create their own, like I said, perception and own myths and own assumptions about a certain category, if you will, of people. But the topic for today is plus size myths. So another plus size myth I've heard is that plus size women are lazy. I heard that one a lot. Like, just, you know how you just have conversation with friends and things like that, and you kind of just like get a perception, or it's just like random conversation that you have with people that might be in your circle, and you kind of get a better understanding of how people in your circle might view certain things, because you gotta understand, we all entitled to our own opinions. We all entitled to feel how we feel about anything in this world. That's how I feel. But I've definitely heard that one a lot, like, oh, plus size women are lazy. I heard that one a lot from men. Now, granted, if you dealing with a lazy person, you just dealing with a lazy person. If they happen to be plus size, they happen to be plus size. But you can't categorize every plus size person and be like, oh yeah, all plus size girls lazy because I was dealing with this one plus size girl and she didn't do this and she didn't do that. Well, that was the one you was dealing with. Like, you can't categorize every plus size girl and say that all of them are lazy. But you know what I learned about society? Society is going to think what they want to think, regardless of whether it's true or not. They're going to think what they want to think. But it's kind of annoying because it's like, it's not true. But let me piggyback on the myth about all plus size girls are sugar mamas. Like, I feel like in general, if you are using somebody, regardless whether they plus size or not, then that's just what it is. I do feel like some guys do target certain women because of their size. And I'm not just saying plus size. I feel like guys target women because of their size in general. Like, if a guy likes skinny women, he's going to target skinny women. If a guy like plus size women, he's going to target plus size women. If that man motive is to get some money, he going to target whatever he like to get the money. Same thing with women. So you can't just be like, oh yeah, all plus size girls, man, they spend that bread, yada yada yada. Like, for one, if it's your significant other, that's something different. But if you got a person out here that you just met and you breaking bread with them, like spending cash on them, buying them cars and all that type of stuff, that's probably what that person wanted to do. And there's nothing wrong with that if that's your MO. But you can't say like, oh, because it happened to you before, like that every plus size girl is like that, because that's not true. Like I said, I like to get money spent on me. I like to spend money as well. I do. But I'm not spending money on a random guy. Like, that's just not gonna happen. It's just not. And it's like, for y'all, for people to be like, oh, every plus size girl is a sugar mama. Like, what? Then that means you could say every old man that like a younger girl is a sugar daddy, which they do say that. So it's kind of the same thing. Like, people can say what they want, but it doesn't mean it's true. And as far as like every plus size woman being lazy, that's not true either. I know a lot of plus size women who get up and go to work, take care of their kids, come home, be a wife, get the kids ready, go to their second job, which is the midnight job, return home in the morning, get the kids ready. Like, so it's literally just like, it's baffling that people say that. Like, oh, plus size women are lazy. That's funny. That's funny. I know people of all sizes that's lazy. Lazy don't have nothing to do with your damn size. It got something to do with the person. Like, it just really do. And then the myth about all plus size girls can only give the head. Like, who came up with that one? Like, let me know. That one I found funny. I didn't even find that one like offensive, because it's like, it's so ignorant. It's not even worth getting offended about. But you know what? None of the myths for me are worth getting offended about. I feel like when it comes to a person's size, as long as you're comfortable with it and the person you with is comfortable with it, like, that's all that matters. Just go with the flow, focus on that person, and let it be what it is. Don't worry about what the world got to say and what they think and how they think you're supposed to dress, how they think you're supposed to act. Like, it doesn't matter though. You feel me? It doesn't even matter. If you wake up every day trying to please somebody, especially this world, whew, baby, you gonna stress yourself out. I think that all in all, whether you plus size, average size, or black, white, green, yellow, I feel like no matter what, there's always going to be assumptions about you that people begin to automatically associate you with. Like literally. Whether it's the truth or not. I know so many plus size women who have amazing husbands and amazing families and amazing friends. So when I hear stuff like, oh, it's always a motive behind a man wanting a plus size woman, it's like, it's kind of like baffling, because it's like, what if you have a person who, oh, that brings me to my next one. They say all plus size girls have low self-esteem. Like, where is this? Like, how, what? I know people who are small who have low self-esteem. I know people who are small who have high self-esteem. I know people who are huge, like not huge, but very heavy, 400 or 500 pounds, who have high self-esteem. I know people who are 400 or 500 pounds who have low self-esteem. I kind of feel like it just doesn't matter. It just depends on the person. So when society comes up with these categories, I feel like it just doesn't make sense. But you know, if y'all see me looking like to the right, it's because my mirror is over there. And I just like to, I have my little mirror, but I like to make sure in my big mirror that everything's kind of like coming together good. But yeah, it just is crazy to me. It doesn't faze me either way, because to be honest, I don't care. And I say that a lot. I always say I don't care about certain things, and people be like, you do care, you do care. But if it's anybody in this world that you're gonna meet that really doesn't give a shit, it's gonna be me. Like, that's the honest to God truth. Like, I had to come to a point where I was like, I'm gonna be in control of what I allow myself to like mess with me mentally. Like, I cannot stress enough how important it is to protect your mental health. I always buy these retractable pens and they always break, and I always try to use them again and have faith in them. But yeah, like, younger me, you could get to care about a lot. I mean, you could get younger me to be affected by a lot of things, but the person that I'm becoming, the person that I'm growing into, not too much can faze me at this point. Not to say like, oh, I don't have no feelings, or I don't have any, you know, emotion and things don't affect me, but I'm at a point where I'm more in control of what affects me and what gets to me and what I allow to take up my mental space. I'm always trying to find like a good combination of lip gloss lipstick and liner and all that. I'm trying to find like my combination, like my go-to combination. So it's kind of like, you know, I just feel like at this point you absolutely have to allow yourself to feel certain things, you know. So I'm not gonna say things don't affect me, but like I said, at this point in my life, I'm in control of what affects me. When it comes to these myths, about plus size women, I feel like they're just that. They're just myths. And if they happen to be true at some point, then it's obviously true and tailored to the person that you're dealing with. I mean, just be honest, there are people out here who have done the things that I was just, you know, speaking about the myth about. So there are women out here who want to play as sugar mamas to guys. So if a guy comes in contact with a woman who's heavy set and she's spending hella cash on him, he's automatically going to assume, oh yeah, all plus size girls are like this. So that's why I say it's tailored to the person. Just because she doing it don't mean the next person is doing it. Like, it just, like I said, it's tailored to the person. But y'all already know, once something is put in the atmosphere and once it's said once, the whole world like jumps on the bandwagon. Because there's not just myths about plus size girls, there's myths about just women in general. There's myths about black women, there's myths about white women. But what baffles me the most is the ones about plus size women. And yes, of course I'm going to say that because I am a plus size woman. Duh. Yes, you are absolutely correct. I'm not even going to hold you up. Yes, yes ma'am. That is why it's baffling the most, because I am a plus size woman, and to hear some of the things, it's like, it's funny. I don't even get offended. I just be laughing like, ooh, y'all reaching. But, you know, I would have to say, like, if any one myth was more surprising than the other one, it will have to be the one that it's always a motive behind a man wanting a plus size woman. Like, why does it have to be a motive? Why he can't just like bigger women? I've had guys tell me like, oh no, like you too small, I like them like bigger than you. I usually deal with them a little bigger than you. And I'm like, oh, okay, excuse me then. So you find somebody that like you in your size. I mean, that's what I would do. That makes more sense, right? Like, people have to get into the habit of letting people be who they are and allowing society to just fall back, because a lot of the people who come up with these assumptions, they don't have nothing better to do. A lot of people who stick with them and run with them, they don't have nothing better to do. And you just gotta be like, okay, I'm gonna just let that ride, because you sound ignorant and don't categorize me. And that's just that. It's okay to not want to be categorized. Like, it is absolutely okay. And I also, you know what else I hate too, is when I hear that people say, oh, plus size women, they just as catty as skinny women. My thing is, first of all, you don't even have to go and separate the when it comes to cattiness, you don't have to separate plus size women from skinny women or small women. Women in general, some of them can be very catty, some of them can be very like extra. So those type of myths kind of get my attention, because it's like, what did you say? Like, in general, if a certain species is this way, you don't even have to separate the plus size ones from the small ones. Like, it doesn't even matter. And that's another thing I hate sometimes. It's like people try to pit plus size women against small women all the time. Like, damn, can we all just exist? Like, why do we have to just